Some life advice is something we could all use at one point or another, right?
Right.
So we went and asked all the races of Azeroth what life advice they could offer. Let's see what they have to say. When your land is under attack, you must choose to defend or attack. You cannot do both, and sometimes to defend you must attack, and to attack you must defend. But always be sure you are fighting the right enemy. Advice? Me no speak big words, me orc. When axe is no sharp, axe no hit good. When axe is sharp, axe hurt good. Me keep axe sharp, so when me time to hurt, me hurt others good. When your mug's empty, what do? Aye, you fill it up. But when your mug breaks, what do you do then? Well, you can repair it, or you can get a new mug. Sometimes you have the expertise and the time to repair the mug. And aye, that's a nice thing. But sometimes, you just want to toss some gold and get a new one. When to repair and when to start anew is always important. Death is life and life is death, for you cannot experience one without the other. But just because you will die one day does not mean you should live every moment as if death is near. Sometimes living like that can surely lead you to a quicker death. The tree of life has its roots in all things. It goes into the sand and around the rocks. It goes to the water and spreads out to all types of environments. That's what shapes the tree. It is never in one place forever. It stretches and experiences all things. For that is how the tree knows what makes it strongest, and nurtures it, and what things to avoid. The earth has its own beat, and sometimes the things around you might beat in line with your own tune. But when someone sings a different song than you can always choose to sing with them, or sing a different song, or refuse to sing. But when you tell them that the song they sing is a song you dislike, then more often than not they sing louder and more often. Is a test the same as experiments? Both of them, you are trying to find things that you have a gap in your own knowledge and trying to find more. Unless you know something is 100% true, then your mind should always be open to the fact that it might not be true. Something being 99% true makes it untrue. When you are into voodoo, you can be put under a spell, or you can put that spell on someone else. Life be like that, man. When you're sometimes the one in control, and sometimes the control is taken away. True strength comes in knowing what battles to fight. You can fight against overwhelming numbers, but without a path to victory, it is not a battle, it's a massacre. The power to pick and choose what battles you engage in will always ensure that you come out on top. If you must strike, then strike fast. If you must flee, then flee unnoticed. You have a million ways to do a task, but if someone thinks of 1,000,001 ways, then none of that matters. Claws and teeth are good at cutting flesh, but not good at problem solving. There is always another way to do a job. You can't just go into every problem expecting the same outcome to work. You have to have a different strategies, or else failure is bound to occur. The value of something is not always how much it weighs or how big it is, but it's how much someone else be willing to pay you for it. If you cut off the truth about yourself and always pretend that you're perfect in every way, that will only lead to more problems. Our flaws are what makes us who we are, and you are stronger when you acknowledge them and accept them. The shadows you see can only happen when lightness and darkness occur. If you spend so much time in the light or in the dark, you can't see the world from more than one angle. There is always two sides to things, and you always need to approach problems in two ways. Seeking wisdom does not always make you smart. And the only thing that can kill you faster than a sword is not understanding your value. No, you cannot overcome all enemies, but you can overcome some. Not every mountain is meant to be climbed. Just like not every stone is meant to be counted. You can choose to do one thing or struggle to do everything. Your battles are only as hard as you make them in your own mind. The heat from the fire burns when it's hot and kindled. And if you don't stoke it and keep the fire going, then the fire dies out. You always got to keep your wits and keep your mind sharp and your skills burning. Me no use big words. If cooking meat over fire, you must turn meat to get all sides of meat cooked, or else be sick. So make sure meat always cooked. When the storm comes, what do you do? Put down anchor and face it, or put your sails up and go into the other direction. Life is the same. Sometimes you need to know what storm you can take on, and sometimes you need to know when your ship will be ripped apart. When the spirit is weak, the mind is weak. Your wisdom and strength comes from the passion you feel when doing anything. And if you're not feeling it in the bones of your soul, then you are doomed to fail. Having the gear and gadgets is not the be-all, end-all. You might be technically advanced, but there is always another way to attack you. And you are not untouchable no matter how much of a technical advantage you have on your enemy. Being unseen and being seen has its advantages. Sometimes you want your enemy to know when you hit him, and sometimes you want to set someone else up for the fall. The game is simple. Knowing what to do with each move is key. When eating at the buffet of life, you can't just eat a single thing. Life is always about trying different things. Sure, the spicy noodles might be tasty, but then you miss out on those dumplings. Taste it all because you might enjoy something new. Flying up in the sky, you see the world from one point of view, but you can't forget how things really are. What might look like a speck from up high might be something totally different from below. Always remember, everyone sees the world at a different view. When the world speaks, it does not only shout, it whispers and talks calmly, and speaks to everyone in a different way. There is no one way to hear it. Some of this advice was useful, some perhaps not as useful, but life advice is still advice nonetheless. Bye and thank you for watching.